Hi, Gene Wisdan again. Want to do a video today on safely securing and transporting your firearm. So let's get the introductions out of the way. My name is Gene Wisdan. I am the Vice President, one of the owners, and one of the lead firearms instructors for Trident Firearms Academy LLC here in California. With this video, I want to help you prevent the loss of your firearms through theft, prevent unauthorized tampering of your firearm, handling of your firearm, prevent unintentional injuries by those unauthorized to handle your firearms, and possibly by you, and preventing firearms accidents. As a firearms owner, you're responsible for your firearms. Part of that includes the 4 core safety rules. We always treat all guns as if they are always loaded. Never point a firearm at anything you're not willing to destroy, including yourself. Keep your finger off trigger until your sights are lined on target and you have made a conscious decision to fire. And always know the backstop behind your threat, what's beyond that backstop, and what's between you and your threat. 4 core safety rules, always very, very important. We unfortunately live, fight, and at times die by those rules. Also included in knowing how to handle a firearm is knowing how to secure it. And that's the purpose of the video. One of the ways, of course, is the good old-fashioned firearms locks, these nice little worthless pieces of crap that thread through the barrel of your gun or through behind the trigger of your firearm. The problem with these is you've got a little tiny lock. Under stress, trying to get to that is going to take a lot of time and probably, in a gunfight, you don't have time. That's your biggest thing. So we've got this little tiny lock that pops it open, and then you've got to thread it out of your barrel or pull it behind the trigger guard, and probably load your firearm at that point. And taking that little tiny key, see that little tiny key? Taking that little tiny key, putting in that little tiny hole under stress, not going to be easy to do. Most guns will be stored unlocked, unloaded when they're in that condition. And remembering the combo, some of these are combo locks, or finding the key under stress in a life or death situation is going to be problematic. Firearms cases. I know some guys like to use their firearms case and put this loop a couple of times around the handle or through a locking port. Problem with that is many of those gun cases have little nubs that fit in the trigger guard so the gun doesn't get tossed around. The problem there is that has to be kept unloaded. Any pressure put on that trigger guard or on the trigger inside the trigger guard can be problematic as well. So you got to keep the gun unloaded, slow to remove, slow to unlock. Remembering the key or combo again can be problematic. That's a word of the day: problematic. Firearm safe works. The big monster, big safes. I've got a couple of those. One in the garage, one in my bedroom. Problem with those is they're not immediately accessible to me under stress. In a life or death situation, in the middle of the night, bump in the night, I got to get my gun for whatever reason. I've got to get out of bed, make it over to the gun safe, remember my combination, key in the combination, or turn the knob to get to the combination, or find the key for the lock. All that's going to take time you just don't have. So we need alternatives. We need to have some of the other alternatives. We could always just try and hide the gun, right? Hide it around your house, somewhere nobody'd ever find it. That's possible, though improbable, especially if you have kids in the house. Remember when you were a kid and your parents would try and hide your Christmas presents or your birthday presents? Could they ever hide it in a place that you couldn't find it? I know I found my dad's. I was just scared to death to touch it. You could always store it on your body, which works well during waking hours in a holster. That works well enough. Unfortunately, if you live in an oppressive state that doesn't allow concealed carry or doesn't have CCW permits, or you don't have your CCW permit, this can legally be an issue. Carrying it open like this is stupid anyway. I'm only doing it because I'm here in my studio. But middle of the night again, where do you store your firearms? Do you have a little holster attached to your BBDs you sleep with? I enjoy firearms. I love my firearms. That's kind of sick. So immediate access is good, not always practical, and the legalities of traveling with it can be problematic. Very good alternative, in my opinion, is the GunVault Micro Vault. I got this one. This is the second one I've got. I got one at my house now, and I got this one just for the video. Right? You believe me? Actually, I got this one so I have one in my vehicle to travel with. And when I fly, these are TSA approved. They're very easy to access. A little bit on this is the Micro Vault MV 500, MV 500. I'll talk about the 1000, the MV 1000. It has a padded interior for it. It's very good, very effective locking mechanism. Made out of 20 gauge steel. One of the things GunVault says about it is it's difficult to pry open. May be true. I have never tried to pry this one open. It has a tattletale light. Notice the little light bulb right there. Notice when I push the key, how it, let's see if I can get this, so it turns green. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. It turns green. If I enter the wrong code, it flashes red. If I enter the wrong code 3 or more times, it locks out and it starts flashing red. I refer to that as a tattletale light. So let somebody know that somebody's been trying to access it, and then we get into trouble. Keypad obviously allows for very quick access. Get it to about a second at the most. It's good for travel, and part of that good for travel is this little cable lock that comes with it, or this cable that comes with it. The cable loops back on itself, so you loop this around a solid point in your vehicle. This little piece right here slips inside here, and when it closes out, it obviously locks in. Sure, bolt cutters will get through it, but for a smash and grab, somebody busts your window out and tries to steal your stuff in your car, your stereo, whatever, at least they've got to work at getting this off. Hopefully it'll give you enough time to hear your alarm going off, or neighbors to get involved, whatever. Some of the specs on this one, the MV500, it's 2.5 inches tall, 8.5 inches wide, 11 inches long. The MV1000, which is a big brother of this one, is 3.5 inches, 10.5 inches wide, and 12 inches long. Interior on this, they bill as 2 inches deep, 6 inches because of the locking mechanism here, 6.5 inches wide, 10 3/4 inches from end to end. The MV1000 is 2.5 inches deep, 8 inches wide, and 11.25 inches long. This one weighs in at about 4 pounds according to GunVault. The MV1000 is 8 pounds. They advertise that over 12 million of these, or there's over 12 million possible codes or combinations for it, so the chances of defeating the combination are fairly slim. It's mountable. Both of them are mountable. Notice the little holes right here, so you drill a hole through it and you can mount it onto a wall, a hard point, the floorboard of your car, whatever. It is mountable. Spring-loaded door on both of them, low battery warning on both of them, and they both have a backup override key, which if you hit that multiple wrong codes, you've got to use a key to unlock it. Nice little, again, a nice feature. I would not rely on the key. If your battery dies, I guess the key works too. But yeah, key's a bad thing. You don't want to have to worry about that. Final checklist on this. Firearms you keep for your security and protection must be controlled by you at all times. Firearms stored must be inaccessible by children. Stored firearms should be unloaded. Yeah, I keep mine loaded in here. This one right now, because of the video, it is not loaded. Allows you to keep other items in here as well. Back to the checklist. Stored firearms should be cleaned before storage and maintained properly. Preventive maintenance is always a good thing. When firearms are removed, they should be checked for loaded status. Even though I keep this one in here always loaded, it's just habit. When I grab a gun, I'm going to check, make sure it's loaded. Just a good habit to get into, always check status. So that's about it. I'm really a big fan of these MV500, the MV1000. Look for another video. I'll show you. And you can know it for, this is my home setup. This is what I keep at the house. Gives you a lot of, it allows you to store other things in here. Obviously, I've got my Smith & Wesson M&P with a light mount, with my light attached. I've got a flashlight in here. So I'm gonna do another video on flashlights. I really like this one. I think this is a great flashlight right here. My light stick with the key attached. Again, I'll go into that in a video why it's set up that way. And a spare magazine that is unloaded right now, of course, before this video. Normally, at night, as soon as I get done with this, filming this, I'll be loading it back up and getting it back in. So that's it. I actually got a short video this time. So again, nice thing about these, you can travel with these. They're TSA approved. You can unchecked in baggage, storing it in your vehicle. Please don't put more guns on the street by leaving a gun laying around in your vehicle stashed underneath the seat. Bad guys know where to look. They're not totally stupid. They're ignorant, but they're not totally stupid. So, store your firearms responsibly. Be a responsible gun owner. It's not a hard thing to do, and it doesn't make the rest of us look like asses. So, anyway, that's it. Short video. And as always, remember, hope is not a strategy.